Hi everyone, hi Ingrid. Good news, we have 20,000 subscribers now and over 1 million views on the YouTube channel. So hooray! Thank you everyone for joining. Welcome to all the new subscribers. This is Mr. Loki. He is one of our 5 cats on the farm and he's here keeping me company outside today. We're going to be doing a new rock design today based on the colors from Princess Jasmine from the Disney film. And we're going to be using the Redheart Crystlaite Crochet hooks, the flat end, and making our dot design with that. And I also have a small manicure stylus. So let's go inside and get started. Okay, I've got my paints here. I've got a combination of Martha Stewart satin, golden fluid acrylics, and Folkart. And these are a new one from Folkart called Colorshift. This is the aqua and the purple. I've already selected a nice stone and painted it with matte black paint. And now I'm going to mix up some of my other paints. I'm adding some golden fluid acrylic to the Martha Stewart just to give it a little bit more density in the purple. Then I'm adding the golden fluid titanium white, the Martha Stewart pearl, and then I'm just going to add a paintbrush full of the purple paint to that to get me another value of the purple. This is the Colorshift, and you can see right out of the bottle it's the perfect consistency, and gosh, it's just pretty to look at. The beautiful iridescence of these paints is absolutely beautiful. So these are ready to go. Got my glasses. I'm going to start with the crochet hook to make my middle dot in the royal blue. And then I'm going to be making a clock face around this. I kind of went too fast on here, but I start with 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, and then I fill in the hours. And I'm using the manicure stylus again to offset the next row. Oh, did a drip there. So I'm going to keep working my way around in the turquoise for the second row, but I also did a little bit of a drip there. So I'm actually going to take off that dot, and it kind of blended in to 2 other of the darker royal blue dots. So I'm going to use my pointy Q-tips and really get in there and get those off and then reapply them because I want it to be perfect. It's important that your first 2 rows are spaced correctly and that they don't touch. So I got all of that off of there. I'm going to reapply, and it's all set and ready to keep working. Now I'm using my little Craftsman drill bit because I found it's the perfect size to fit right in here. You can also use a stick for a cake pop, works very well. Okay, now I'm using my smallest tool from the Redheart crochet hook set, and I'm using the iridescent purple in this row, and you can see how beautiful it is. This paint is a little stickier. It almost has the consistency of glue, so you have to be a little careful when you pull up your tool because there will be a little bit of a string there, and if you just wait a few seconds it will pull back down onto the paint and pull out and make a perfect little dot. That's what it looks like close up. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of the golden fluid acrylic titanium white in with the Colorshift paint to bring the value down a little bit, and I'm going to do the next row with the red crochet hook. Again, offsetting all the way around. I really love this paint because it stays put even on a curved rock. And now I'm to my lightest shade of lavender that I made earlier with my yellow crochet hook and setting that in. And then I'm going to walk the dots with my white around each of those pale lavender outside dots with my manicure stylus. And I try to do the same number of dots on each side of that. Don't always achieve that, but that's my goal. To try and do the same number, just makes it a little bit more symmetrical. And that's what it looks like. You could leave the rock just like that. It's a very pretty rock. But I wanted to keep going. I wanted to make sort of a magic carpet covering this entire surface of the rock. So I'm going in with my white dots and I'm just filling in a couple of the empty spaces with my manicure stylus, just to give a little bit more definition in between the colored dots. Now I'm ready to start with my gold iridescent paint from Golden Fluid. This is a spectacular gold paint. It's very vibrant. And I'm going to start with a small dot with a manicure stylus in between each of the petals. All the way around. And then I'm going to use the small blue crochet hook to make a little bit larger dot right below that. All the way around, and then I'm using the green crochet hook to do an even larger dot below that. So it looks as if it's draping over the rock. Just like that. Now I'm going to use my small manicure stylus and walk those dots around that and do that all the way around. It was a little hard to show you because it's on the edge of the rock. And then I went back with my beautiful Aqua color flash paint and did a dot in between each of those gold rows. And then 3 smaller dots around each of those. So that's a close-up of what it looks like. Now I let that dry for a little bit and I'm going back to do some top dots. I'm using the color flash on top of one row of the purple. Makes a nice little iridescent bead. Almost looks like a bead when it dries. And then I mixed a little bit of a white with the Aqua color flash paint, and I'm going to do a little tiny bead on top of that turquoise row, just to give it a little bit more texture and a little bit more interest. Now I've decided to go back with my palest lavender and go over the gold. The gold to me was a little harsh and I wanted to keep these colors more soft and more feminine. So I'm using the lavender dot over the gold just to tone it down a little bit. And the paint is thick enough that it's staying in place. It's not running down the sides of the rock because I added the Martha Stewart pearl. So you can see that really tones down the brassiness of the gold. And now finally I'm doing some white top dots on the palest lavender just to give those a little bit of a pop. I did this on several rocks. Didn't want to waste my paint, and I did a couple of variations of it. You can see how that wraps around the rock. It really depends on the shape of your rock and if it's round or flat. And I'm going to spray them with my clear acrylic UV protector. First I'm going to spray the back side and then I flip them over and spray the front side. And then I'm going to let those dry for a couple hours before I put my crystals on. I picked out some colors that I thought went with the color scheme. I had these beautiful iridescent pink stones, and this is my manicure stylus that I broke, but it turns out it's a wonderful tool for setting in the crystals. Got my tacky glue, and I'm going to put my glue dot on there and then set my stone, and then I turn my manicure stylus over to the broken end and I push, and just push that stone right down into the glue. I also had these beautiful Aqua stones, so I thought I'd try those in a different place on another stone around the outer edge. And I also had another color of stone called Paradise Shine that I'm going to try on another rock. Here's the Paradise Shine. So here's the different effect. There's the pink in the center of the stone, and then the aqua on the outer edge of the stone. You can see how that sparkles. And here's the Paradise Shine, and that I set right in the center of the lavender dot. So when people learn that you are painting rocks, it's hard for them to imagine that something like this could turn into something so beautiful. But these look like little beautiful magic carpets to me. I just love them. Goodbye, Loki.